Hi, this is going to be a review of Unit 1, what we've done so far. The first thing we talked about was order of operations, PEMDAS or GEMDAS. Depending on how you learned it. Just remember that the P are groups, P&G's groups, which includes parentheses. This is the order that you do problems. E is exponents. You do multiplication, and division at the same time from left to right. And you do addition and subtraction at the same time from left to right. So again, this is order of operations. If you have a problem such as these two different problems, order of operations tells you how to solve them and what order to solve them. For this one, if we remember PEMDAS or GEMDAS, I'll write it down here just to help us. PEMDAS, so we do the parentheses first. So 2 times 4 is 8. And then we're left with 8 plus 6, and 8 plus 6 is 14. For this one, it's 50 divided by 10 minus 3. We know that we have to do the division before we do the subtraction. So 50 divided by 10 is 5, and 5 minus 3 is 2. This works. For here, 2. Remember, I'm going to write it again, just so we get used to thinking of it. So we have parentheses and a division. So we have to do that parentheses first. So we have to do this first. So our 60 divided just comes down. And then 10 minus 4 is 6. And now we do the division. 60 divided by 6 is 10. And this is our answer. For this one, we have a parentheses, an exponent, a subtraction, and a multiplication. So we have to do the parentheses inside the parentheses first. And inside the parentheses, we have an exponent and a subtraction. So out of those two, we do exponent first before the subtraction. So 4 squared is 16. So we've taken care of this exponent, but we still have the subtraction left. And it's still in a parentheses. So the parentheses is still there, so we have to finish up doing everything in the parentheses. 16 minus 10 is 6. 6 times 2 is left, and that's 12. That's order of operations. Again, this is a review, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. So we also talked about translating verbal expressions. These are the ones that are the most difficult because they have the of. And of means that there's a parentheses. So quotient of is division in parentheses. Difference of is subtraction in parentheses. Sum of is addition in parentheses. And product of is multiplication in parentheses. Again, these are the hardest, not only because of the parentheses, but because of the English quotient, difference, sum, product. So the next hardest is the less than or the subtracted from. If you see than or from, you're going to have to switch the order. For instance, for example, if you just have 4 minus 2, that's just 4 minus 2, and that equals 2. But with these, less than and subtracted from, you have to switch the order of the numbers. So for this one, so if you have, say, 10 less than 4, you have to change the order because of less than. So this would really be 4 minus 10, which is negative 6. I explain this a lot in class. It's just something to look out for. And there's no easy way for me to give you a hint how to remember it. It's just something that you have to remember. Less than, you flip the order. Subtracted from, same thing, you flip the order. So here's the simpler ones. Plus is add, minus is subtract, times is multiplication, subtract is minus, add is plus, divided, squared is an exponent of 2. So if like x squared would be x with the exponent of 2. Cubed has an exponent of 3. Square root looks like that. And cube root is with a 3. Remember, square root asks, which number can you multiply itself to get 100? So the square root of 100, which number can you multiply to itself to get 100? And that is 10. Cube root asks, which number can you multiply itself to itself 3 times to get that number? So what number multiplied by it to itself 3 times gets 8? And that's 2, because 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And the square root, remember, it's 2 times, and 10 times 10 is 100. So then we talked about the distributive property, where you take what's on the outside of the parentheses and distribute it to the inside using multiplication. So if it's on the outside of the parentheses, it's got to go to everything on the inside. 3 times 2 is 6x. 3 times 4 is 12. And that's it. This has an exponent. This doesn't. So this is your final answer. This one, be aware that this is a -4. So -4 times 5 is -20x. And -4 times -6 is 24. And again, this is your final answer. Take what's on the outside and distribute it to everything on the inside. So now we're at combining like terms, where the terms have the same variable and the same exponent, you can combine them. For this one, it's pretty easy. 3x plus 4 plus 6x. This has an x and this has an x, so you can combine them. So that would be 3x plus 6x plus 4. So I'm going to combine these two, and I get 9x, because 3x plus 6x is 9x. And then the plus 4 just comes down. There's nothing to combine with that, and it doesn't go away. It just comes down. And this is your final answer, because I cannot combine these two numbers. Another example. 4 plus 2x plus 6. So your numbers are just your numbers. They can always be combined. There's only one variable here. It's all by itself, so nothing can be combined with this 2x. And then 4 plus 6 is 10. And then this would be my final answer. So this way it gets a little tricky. You have a -3x minus 6 minus 5x. So you have x twice. So you can combine -3x and -5x. And if you combine -3x plus -5x, you get -8x. -3x minus 5x is -8x. And then this -6 comes down. Remember, if you're getting confused with the negative and the positives, you can always use Desmos. All right. So a couple more with exponents. Again, this is x squared. This is just x. This is x squared. So it has to be the same variable and the same exponent. These both have an exponent of 2, so I can combine them, x squares. 4x squared minus 2x squared. 4 minus 2 is 2x squared. And then all I have left is this 3. x. And that's my final answer. Again, same thing. 6x squared, 3x, and negative 6x squared. So I can combine my x squares. 6x squared minus 6x squared. 6 minus x is 0, so that means they cancel out. And all I have left is 3x. You don't need to write 0x squared because anything multiplied to 0 is 0, so it's gone. And this would be my final answer. One more, last one, is a refresher that this is x squared plus 2 plus 4x squared. What number is in front of this x squared? A 1. So that's 1x squared plus 4x squared is 5x squared plus 2. I know that was a quick review, and I know I talked a little fast, but you can always rewind it and watch it again. And let me know if you have any questions.